Attorney General Jeff Sessions had ordered the Department of Justice to review the National Gun Background Check System. The system, known formally as the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, is designed to prevent individuals with certain red flags in their personal history from purchasing firearms. Now, this has fallen under scrutiny after it was discovered that the Texas shooter Devin Kelley was allowed to purchase a rifle despite a past court-martial conviction that should have prevented him from doing so. While Sessions is taking action to close loopholes in the background system, gun control advocates argue that it isn't enough. A new report from NBC News outlines the ways states and local governments are leading the fight to ban rapid-fire bump fire stocks after the federal government's failure to do so. Bump stocks, you'll remember, are the gun add-ons that allow semi-automatic weapons to fire like automatic ones. Their use is partially why last month's mass shooting in Las Vegas was the deadliest in modern American history. For more on this, I'm joined by Adam Edelman, political reporter for NBC and the author of that article. Adam, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. It's important for people to understand that the federal government, Congress, has been unsuccessful in even small things like this, where there's general agreement that this bump stock was a contributor to this gunman being able to kill as many people and injure as many as he would. The federal government since 1994 has not been able to pass any meaningful gun legislation because of the NRA.
That's exactly right, Ali, and thank you for having me. It's a testament to how powerful the NRA really is, given that, we'll be seeing the 5-year anniversary of the Newtown shooting in just a couple of weeks. There was, of course, several large pushes after that, which were all unfruitful. There have been Vegas last month. A few weeks later, we had Sutherland Springs, Texas. Both have kind of given short-lived life to small incremental fixes. I wrote about one that came forward after Las Vegas, but even that has lost steam, and it's barely been 2 months. And that, of course, is still the largest mass shooting by one individual in U.S. history.
Now, you're saying your story suggests that because everybody gets that the federal government isn't going to do it, and because they realize after Newtown we can't wait around for this public sentiment to bubble up to Congress and somehow overcome the power of the gun lobby, there are states and municipalities that are taking actions very specifically as it relates to the bump stocks. Tell me about this.
That's exactly right. A lot of states, cities, counties, whatnot, they've thrown their hands up. They said, we're not going to wait for a federal fix on this. So you see in Massachusetts, for example, they already have some of the toughest anti-gun laws on the books. But when something happens specific, like with bump stocks after Vegas, a legislator there, David Linsky, he put a bill forward that said, we can't have these. These should not be legal in the state of Massachusetts to use, to attach to a gun, to sell, to manufacture, and they were able to put it forward through their legislature in record time. It was signed by their lieutenant governor. But we're seeing this a lot, not just on gun issues, but with lots of different things in our current political environment where Congress is just paralyzed with inaction. But yes, we've seen it in Massachusetts. The mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, kind of an interesting place, put forward his own local ordinance last week, which actually has a very good chance of passing, even in deep South Carolina, which has pretty lax state gun laws on its books. And we're seeing a lot of efforts by states, even like New York, New Jersey, Hawaii, who they have different and fairly strong anti-gun laws on the books, but nobody thought of bump stocks before Vegas. So, a lot of people are saying we should do whatever we can to prevent something like the Las Vegas shooting from happening. And if that means a small, incremental, explicit ban on bump stocks, let's do it at the state or at the local level.
Yeah, and I think what you're touching on is a broader issue here, that it's not just where it comes to guns. It's states and municipalities taking greater control of things that we used to think the federal government would do, but now when we see an ineffective federal government or a political climate like the one we've got now, things getting done locally might be the answer. Adam, thanks for your report. Thanks for being with us today, and happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Adam Edelman of NBC.com.